How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another NASCAR 21 Ignition video. I'll be honest, I'm probably not going to be calling it Ignition a lot. I'm just going to say NASCAR 21, just my preference. Now, what is this video about? This video is going to be talking about career mode. And one thing that I talked about in the main full feature video that I uploaded this past week, which you guys, watched a ton, and there was a ton of support on there. I realized when I watched it back, I didn't really talk a lot about career mode. There's some information on the website that I knew about, but I didn't know if I was allowed to talk about, so I didn't really mention a lot of it. But now that I see that it is on the website, I want to talk about career mode a little bit more. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to all the Patreon supporters. You guys are incredible. We are literally 6 lanes now right here, so that's crazy. We got 2 new ones. We have Nick King and Cody Beatty. Thank you guys so much for supporting on the Patreon and letting me do YouTube right now full time. So seriously, thank you. Okay, so we're going to be talking about career mode, and then I'm also going to give my opinion on some things about career mode and where I think this is going to be going in the future. And I do want to stress, if you guys want your voice to be heard and like you want to have influence on maybe what the motorsport games guys do, then on videos like this that are being uploaded even before NASCAR 21 comes out, for the next iteration and future iterations of the game, this is probably where you want to try to voice your opinion. So that way, when they are in development of NASCAR 22 and NASCAR 23 and so on, I mean, they'll probably always be in development. They think about these things. So if you guys are very clear about what you want with the career mode, please comment down below. Let me know exactly what you want. There's multiple different ways about going of this, and I'll tell you guys what I want and what I prefer. But what I might prefer might not be the same as what you prefer. So it's just be very, very important to make your voice heard and let them know what you want, because in the end, they're not going to put in something for career mode that nobody wants. They're going to be listening to you guys, and they're going to be trying to figure out what to put into there that you guys are preaching for and wanting. Hence why paint booth is in the game, because everyone was crying for a paint booth. So the career mode for NASCAR 21 is simply, you're in the Cup Series, you are a driver career kind of person. It's not an owner mode of any sort, and there's contracts, and like I explained it in the video, you're kind of like a mercenary. And this is exactly what I was expecting before the game was ever announced or details were released, because it's a brand new game built from the ground up. I have to stress that so much. This career mode is not going to be the greatest thing ever. It's mainly because it's built from the ground up, guys. They had to focus so much on the game itself, like the actual driving and the cars and the tracks and making all the tracks and making all the cars, making sure the cars drive properly again, because that wasn't, in heat, obviously. So all this takes away time from the feature list and the game modes and the pretty stuff, basically. That's not going to be in this game. So what is this career mode basically going to entail? You're going to be a driver. You're going to have contracts. There are a few very interesting details that we'll talk about here where you are apparently be able to negotiate on multiple different factors. There's a lot of so I remember in Heat there was a lot of issues about stats not being involved and money not being involved. Well, that seemed to be a thing in this career mode. So there's certain aspects which are nice, and then we'll see how the rest goes. So there are 6 FAQ questions here. Will players be able to create their own character? And that is a yes. In NASCAR 21, players will be able to create their own character and begin their NASCAR career by selecting a contract from one of the teams competing in the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series. But then for some reason it says you cannot customize the driver appearance, which, in my opinion, why do you even make us create a character if you can't customize the driver appearance? So I'm guessing what this means is you essentially put your name and where you're from and your birth of, driver birth basically, and your country, and that's it. I mean, like in Victory Lane, do you see what your driver looks like, or is the driver for everyone the same? Can you pick a female and a male and then that's it? Just there's one model for both of them? That's something that I'm a little bit confused by. Can players create their own team to race for in career mode? And that is a no. Players are only able to select from contracts from existing teams that are competing in the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series season. And I'll talk about that a little bit more once you get through all these FAQs, but that's definitely a negative for me. Are each of the team's cars available to choose from when selecting a new contract? The answer is no. The contracts offered by each team are for a specific car number already chosen, and some car numbers and drivers are considered franchise drivers and remain in their rides over the course of multiple seasons. This has to do with basically NASCAR's licensing. If you want to yell from the rooftops about this game is not going to be as good as a NASCAR Thunder 2003 or 2004 career mode, it's because the rules and the legality issues back 20 years ago were very different to what they are now, and you really can't separate the drivers and the teams and the sponsors, because they don't want to be separated even in a video game. It's just how it works for legal reasons. So one thing I don't know is, like, it says each team, or the contracts offered by each team are for a specific car number that's already chosen. Does that mean you can't use your own custom paint scheme in career? Because I don't know that yet. If you make your own driver, can you have a custom paint scheme when you drive for, let's say, Hendrick Motorsports? Or do you just take over the 5 car and the 24 car and the 48 car? Is that how it works? If it is like that, then that's going to be a little bit, again, it's not really a career mode. I can just feel like I'm doing a championship season in that case if you're just going to place me in Alex Bowman car. But I'm not Alex Bowman, I'm Milad Radman. It's kind of like, okay, you know, I might as well just have my own car. That's why the paint booth's in the game. I don't know about this yet. It just sounds very odd the way it's worded. And then we get to the really interesting part. These next 3 questions. How is driver value determined for a player's driver in career mode? And it says the driver value in NASCAR 21 is made up of the following factors, all derived from your negotiated contract. Your salary is 50%, your race winnings is 75%, your endorsements is 100%, and your contract clauses is a negative 100%. So that's a little odd. Don't really know what all those numbers mean, so I guess 50% of your value is driver value, and then 75% is race winnings, 100% is endorsements, and then your contract clauses are minus 100%. Yeah, I don't really know what we're doing here. In the end, that does equal, actually, no, that's over 100%. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe my brain IQ ain't working, but I don't really know what it's meaning there. Yeah, it sounds cool. I just don't know. How will a player know when it is time for a contract negotiation or when they receive a new contract offer? The in-game agent will notify the player of contract negotiations or contract offers through notifications on the calendar feature of a career mode. A pop-up message will indicate when you have a new contract offer. I'm wondering when the contracts come out. Are they going to be full season contracts? Are they going to be part-time contracts? How many years do you kind of go through the career? Like, for example, for the season of 2021, do you get a part-time contract with, I don't know, some random team, a backmarker team, and then the next season a full year goes by and it simulates the races, and then in 2022 you have a full-time contract with the backmarker team, and then in 2023, like, how does that work? Or is it, well, you're under contract with this team for 5 races, and then we're going to rip that up, and then you're just going to go to another team for 5 races? And to be honest, I don't wish it is like that. I'd rather have the simulated aspect of, okay, for the 2021 season, I'm a part-time driver, and then for the 2022 season, I'm a full-time driver, and for the 2023 season, I'm a full-time. I'd rather have it that way. I wouldn't like to have it where it's like every 3 to 4 races I'm jumping around to different teams, because that's just very unrealistic. That's not how it works. No one's going to sign you to a 4-race deal in the Cup Series. You're going to sign for the year, whether it be part-time or whether it be full-time. It ain't going to be like, you know, I'm a hop here, hop there, hop everywhere. This is not how it works. And then how does a player negotiate a new contract? Once the player receives a new contract offer, the agent will present the offer and the details of the offer. Players can accept the contract offer or edit the contract terms by adjusting the salary, the length, the percentage of winnings, the finishing position, the average finish, the final rank, the wins, and top 10s, I'm guessing. No, top 5s, top 10s, poles, and laps led. It had a little bit of a jump there in the paragraphs. As you can see, a lot of different stats going involved with percentage of winnings, finishing position, all that stuff. So that's very nice. And then it says not all contract offers will allow the player to adjust each of these areas. So the team might just say, well, you can't adjust the finishing position. That's like non-negotiable. It's guaranteed. You got to finish in 25th. All right, that's just how it is. We ain't gonna allow any room for that. The agent will offer feedback on the changes before the player submits a counter offer. So if you want like $100,000 more, the agent's gonna be like, wait a minute, they're not gonna accept that. So think very carefully on that. Once submitted, the player will have to await the team's response to the counter offer. The player will receive the notifications of the team's response to the counter offer, which the player can view right away or view later. The player can then accept the team's final offer or continue to negotiate with other teams who could be trying to do the same thing. That's the biggest positive I get from all this, is that if you are not going to allow me to be an owner, which, you know, brings a whole different slew of stuff in itself, the negotiation for being a mercenary, especially because, like, that's what I am. I'm a mercenary. You got to get me under contract. Then, you know, it has to be pretty entertaining to at least do, and and you know, try to make as much money as possible. And then that money, one big thing I want to point out here is I'm really hoping that the money, so it says salary, percentage of winnings, all that stuff, where does that money go? You know, like in my opinion, if we don't have expenses because we're not an owner, I would want the money to go back into the game in other areas, whether it be multiplayer, whether it be unlocking different paint schemes, but we know that's not going to be a thing because I think DLC is going to be a thing. So how would you do that? Well, what unlockables are going to be in the game that maybe we can use the money we make in career mode to then unlock other things in the game? That's something I'm looking at, because I wouldn't just want to say, hey, I want to make $30,000 a race, right? And it doesn't mean anything. It's just a number. We've had that issue with the NASCAR Heat games, like the whole time. I always said, this money doesn't matter. It's just you make money, you make money, you make money, you upgrade the team, that's it, yada, 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 whatever. And there has to be some sort of expense, some sort of consequence, but that's in an owner mode. So in a driver mode, obviously that's not going to be a thing. Don't tell me I'm making $50,000 a year. It doesn't matter. I'd rather just make nothing. It's a video game. What if I'm making $50,000 in the game, and can I use that money as an in-game currency and then take that in-game currency and use it somewhere else in the game? That's something that I want to see, but you know, we'll have to see how that works. So that's everything that we see in this career mode. That's the details that we know of, and again, I haven't seen it yet, so it might look very different when we actually play the game. But from how it's described, there's a few negatives, there's a few positives, but obviously it's very simple to driver career. And we'll see, are there cutscenes, you know, like what's going on with all that. So now we're going to talk about like the future of the career mode, because obviously this career mode, we know the developers, this is not their ideal form of career mode. They would want to do a lot more, but again, brand new it is technically a brand new company. It's going to be a brand new game, so they're building it from the ground up. And I know that's very frustrating for you guys. Like, we already had to deal with Heat and building up Heat, and that took 5 years to do. Well, yeah, you kind of got to do it again, and that's unfortunate. Trust me, I'm not happy about that, but that's the way it is. You don't want Heat 6. Trust me, that's not what you want. So you want the base of the game to be good so you can have a good foundation. So you have to look at the examples. Remember, a lot of ex-Codemasters guys are working on this game. So you can already see a few examples from the old F1 games that are coming into the NASCAR game. Example, the data tablet that they're trying to use, the cutscenes of, you know, the garage area and stuff, trying to make the garage like a live thing. That is very similar to the old F1 games when they made the paddock a live thing. It's very similar to that. And remember, in the old F1 games, there wasn't a My Team. There wasn't an owner mode. There wasn't any of that. In the first iteration of the F1 game, it was, you are a driver career, there's interviews, and that's pretty much it. That's all the career was. It was not as detailed as you think career modes in F1 are now, which they are very detailed now, but it took them 10 years to develop all that. It took them F1 2010, F1 2011, F1 2012, F1 2013, then they had to jump over to F1 2015. Remember when they went to F1 2015? That was the jump from the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One, the PS3 to the PS4. F1 2015 was very bare bones because they had to redo the game, and they had to redo the engine, and they had to get into a new console. So F1 2015 had like no features. That's essentially what we get here, is that the game is going to be pretty bare bone, but over time it builds and builds and builds. I mentioned that because now I'm going to talk about the future of the career mode and kind of what I want to see compared to maybe what you guys want to see. So there are a lot of people, let's put it right now, there are a lot of people that want to see trucks and Xfinity in the game, and they want to work their way up, and that's how they want a career mode for themselves. I'm not on that camp. To be honest, I genuinely don't care about trucks and Xfinity. It's just not an interest to me. I care about the Cup Series. I care about the Premier Series. I'll watch trucks and Xfinity in my free time when I feel like it in real life, but in a video game, I really don't care about working my way all the way up. It's not a preference to me. So here's my point. I don't want those resources going to Xfinity and trucks and not improving a career mode that I feel like, let's be honest, guys. I'm just going to use myself as an example. All you guys, including myself, we are thoroughly enjoying the NASCAR Thunder 2003 career. One of the most popular series on my channels a few years ago was the NASCAR Thunder 2004 career. I'd never played that game before, so that's why I went and did it a few years ago. And those careers are just Cup Series. It's when EA Sports went into 05 and they added the trucks and Xfinity and all that, and it went to Fight to the Top. But again, that was just kind of bare bones. You left R&D, you left the pit crew stuff, you left the ownership stuff behind, and you just kind of work your way to the top. It's okay, like we've done that 15 million times. Don't you want to see something different? Like, what is the fascination behind wanting Xfinity and trucks in the game so badly over everything else, when the premier series, the reason why millions of people watch, is the Cup Series? And to make a career mode out of a very in-depth and detailed Cup Series would be nice, starting at the back, being able to own a team. So like, for example, for NASCAR 22, where do I want to see it go? I want an owner mode to be involved, and I want to see like actual R&D stuff to be involved. Like, how do I improve my team, improve my car? How do I hire people? When I hire these people, I have expenses. I need to get sponsors. I have to sign these sponsors, and I have to meet certain requirements. Again, all very similar to NASCAR Thunder 03, because NASCAR Thunder 03 did it right. You were just in a Cup Series, and you just, you know, had to work the way, and it's so much more fun. It gives you the same kind of feeling of working your way to the top, except you're doing it in the main series how it's supposed to be done. It's not go ahead and dominate Truck Series and then dominate Xfinity Series and then go to the Cup Series and dominate that. And each series you go through, there's not a lot of detail in it, and there's not a lot of immersion in it. If you focus an entire career mode around the top series, just like Formula 1 did, you can put a lot of different things into the game, especially an in-depth owner mode style career mode, which is exactly what I want. So I don't know if I'm in the minority there, because from what I see, a lot of people were disappointed that Xfinity and trucks weren't in the game. And listen, I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm being completely real. I don't care if Xfinity and Truck Series are never in this iteration of the game. Like NASCAR 22, 23, 24, 25, whatever the heck they have the license to. I think it's still like 29. I don't care if it's in the game, because one, I don't race in the Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and two, I don't care. It's just my personal opinion. I want the premier series, the reason why everyone buys the game. We don't have Xfinity and Truck Series on the cover, right? Like, that's the developmental series. We want the premier series. That's on the game. That's what sells the game. That's what you and me and all of us watch. We watch the Cup Series. Unless there are some random people that don't watch the Cup Series at all, that only watch Xfinity and trucks, which that'd be kind of weird. But I'm sure there's probably people out there that do that. If you want that, then yeah, you can ask for that. But I'm just, you know, voicing my opinion there. And that's why I want to point out, make sure your opinion is known down in the comments below. If you completely disagree with me and you want Motorsport Games to put Xfinity and trucks in the game and base a career mode off of that, fine, go ahead. But I'm telling you exactly what you're going to get, and you're going to get NASCAR 8-2, which is essentially careers in the, or trucks and Xfinity are in the game, and then the career mode's like, well, we didn't add any expenses, we didn't add any cool features, we didn't add R&D, we didn't add an owner mode, we didn't add any of that. But guess what? You can start in the Truck Series. Yay! Like, who the hell cares? So be very careful about what you ask for, because they're gonna listen to you. And so what I'm asking for, give me that Cup Series, man. Give me that Cup Series experience. I want to struggle in the Cup Series for a full season with my team, my guys, you know, my pit crew that I can yell at, my sponsors that I gotta reach requirements for, and make me feel like I'm poor and broke by making me have to pay expenses and stuff for my team. That is what I want in a career, which I'm hoping comes next year. For this year, I'm very interested to see how the negotiations of the contract works, because that will be something really cool to also implement into future career modes if it works well. So we'll see how that all goes. But yeah, that's just it for the career mode details. I wanted to make this quick video because I think, you know, career mode is obviously what I love most in the NASCAR games, and I just realized I didn't talk about it a lot in the previous video. So comment down below, guys. Very, very important. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new. And for all the NASCAR Thunder 2003 fans, guys, don't worry. It's coming back. Wait, is it coming back tomorrow? No, it's not coming back tomorrow. We have a race review to do tomorrow. I am sorry, but there's real life NASCAR that comes on Sundays. NASCAR Thunder 2003 will be back on Monday, so you'll have to go the entire weekend without it. I sincerely apologize. Probably will get some hate for that, but we'll be back on Monday. All right, guys, I'm uploading every day, so yay. All right, take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. If you're not already, follow me on Twitch, yada, yada, yada. You guys know the drill. I'm going to go watch. And we're not talking about Arsenal in this video. All right, see you later. Bye. Take care.